Now, everybody knows that I am an Aquarius. And I love Aquarius, especially Aquarius women. I really do. I really like Aquarius. I like and the men too. I like their uniqueness. I love a unique person, but that's probably because I'm Aquarius. So, but also another thing is that there are certain things about Aquarius that irk me, irk me to no end. And I do them too, or did them in the past, and it irked me then too. So I can never be like, okay, well, it's okay when it's me. No, it's problematic across the board, basically. So today I'm going to tell you guys 10 things I cannot stand about Aquarius, including myself when I do them. So first, let me do the introduction. I'm Queen Set Haru, and thank you for joining me for another wonderful edition of Ask an Aquarius. If you haven't already, please hit the red subscribe button and smack the bell. Also, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, pass it on to someone else who may like it too, and drop us a positive comment in the comment section. And if you have time, please stick around to the end of the video because I'm going to read two positive comments from previous videos and respond to them. If you would like to get a reading done, please email me. If you would like to hit me up on social media, all that information is underneath this video. All my social media, my email, my Patreon, my PayPal, all of that is underneath this video. Okay? All right, so let me tell you about Aquarius ass. Number one, the first thing that irritates me about Aquarius, and you guys know I know a lot of Aquarius. I know more Aquarius than probably any other sign at this point. That wasn't always the case, but since I've been doing Asking Aquarius, I've met a lot of phenomenal and not so phenomenal Aquarius, okay? More phenomenal than not, though. I'll give you guys that. So one of the things that I've noticed out of all these Aquarius, and a lot of them, even the ones I like a lot, is the audacity. Aquarius have, the audacity. When I think of the word audacity, I look it up in the dictionary, I see a picture of Aquarius. Aquarius just will do some shit that I'm like, I know you know you ain't, I know you know you ain't got no business doing that. And Aquarius would just be like, real flip with it. They'll just do some shit. I'll give you an example of me. When I was younger, and I used to do this all the time, and I stopped doing this. But when I was younger, I used to get upset with somebody, angry with them, irritated by them. I might not even tell them that I'm irritated. Most times I didn't. And I just stopped talking to them. I could be talking to this person every day, all the time, emailing them, calling them, whatever. We could be, tight like this. They do something, piss me off, and I just stop talking to them. And this is the audacity part, because that's normal for Aquarius. That ghosting, very normal. But the audacity part is when I got over it, when I wasn't mad no more, or if I let it go, or whatever the case was, I would pop back up like nothing happened. I would text them or call them like, hey, what's up? Like nothing happened. And most of the time, most people would just keep rolling. And they would just be like, oh, what's up? They would just keep talking. Every once in a while, somebody would be like, oh, for real? For real, this is what you do? You disappear and then pop back up like nothing happened? But 95% of the time, people let me get away with it, which is why it continued until I realized it wasn't a good idea. So that's one example of our audacity. I know a lot of Aquarius who will ghost people and then pop up when they need something. Pop up when they're not mad no more. Pop up when they feel like being bothered. Aquarius are a trip, I tell you, in that way. So we do have a lot of audacity. And audacity is boldness and assertiveness. So it can be good or bad. But Aquarius, the way it comes off sometimes, especially when it's like a client of mine and they're telling me what they said or did to another person, I'm like, you can't be serious. You actually did that? And they're looking at me like, yeah. And I'm like, now you should not have done that. The audacity. Number two, not wanting to deal with emotions. I struggle with my emotions. I've always struggled with my emotions. I still work my way through it. But there are certain Aquarius who won't even touch it. Like they won't even deal with it. And I understand because I used to be one of those Aquarius. I used to be the type that when something happened, I just stuffed it. I was like, you know what, F it. And I would just stuff it in a drawer and not deal with it. And I've come across this, and I come across it with Aquarius men and women. But some of my Aquarius friends and clients will not deal with their emotions. And it just drives me crazy because for a lot of them, that's where the problem lies. Emotional wounds, trauma, things like that. And I'm trying to get them to see it, to face it, to deal with it. And they just keep on ignoring it or giving me a hard time about it. It drives me crazy. And I'm like, I know this is part of our sign. I've struggled with it myself. You know, I understand, but it's like at a certain point, you have to realize this is a problem. And you can't just go around disconnected from your feelings and then wonder why things go wrong. You know, things go wrong all the time because of it. And they come to me and ask me, why did it go wrong? But then don't want to do anything about it. So I'm like, I feel you. I've been that person too. But it's not a healthy way to be. Number 3, nasty attitudes. Aquarius with lower vibrations, not so much the high ones. Aquarius with lower vibrations sometimes have the nastiest attitude. It's like, oh my God, who pissed in your cornflakes? Like they just come off with such a nastiness. And it's like talking to people rude, being ignorant. And like I said, it's not all Aquarius because I've done this. My attitude, especially when I was younger, if you upset me, my attitude went from sugar to sour in 2.2 seconds. And that nasty attitude really does not win us any brownie points at all. And most of the time, it's just because the person has irked us or upset us. And it would be actually better to just tell the person they've irked us or upset us than to just give them a nasty attitude. You know? And a lot of people do this. This is not something that just Aquarius do, but I would love to see Aquarius speak more instead of giving the attitude. And that's something that I had to learn over time. You know, the attitude, the person understands you have an attitude with them, and they might even understand why. But you talking about it is easier and more productive, put it like that, than just giving them a tube. Twos don't really get you anywhere. Plotting and scheming. Some of those lower vibrational Aquarius always plotting, always scheming, always pulling the caper. And I've done this before. I've plotted, I've schemed, I've pulled capers in my youth. Okay, yeah. Not a good idea, but I did it. And I feel like it just, if you always plotting and scheming, it just really gives you this kind of sneaky vibration. And other people, like I know me now at this point in my life, I don't plot and scheme anymore. So if I'm around somebody and I get that vibe from them, it does make it hard to trust them. I'm always waiting to see what the plot is. You know, is it a plot against me? Is it a scheme against me or somebody I know? Like, what is this going on? So that plotting and scheming for me, it's just, it makes me leery. It makes me like, I don't hang around them, to be honest with you. If I notice an Aquarius that does that, I get away from them because I don't know what they're trying to do to me. Like, I ain't putting up with that. Shutting off. An Aquarius will shut off. This kind of goes with the ghosting, you know, but an Aquarius will shut off at a time when you're trying to get them to explain what's wrong. And I've went through this myself with several Aquarius, and I've probably done this to people before. And it's like you're trying to understand what is the problem. You're trying to fix it. You're trying to communicate, but they shut off. And I had this happen with one of my Aquarius friends, and I didn't know what the hell was wrong with him. I knew something was wrong with him, and I figured it out later from doing the cards. But at the time, I was just like, what is wrong with you? And it would have been so much easier if he just would have said, this is how I feel, instead of shutting off, you know? So it's just annoying, really. That one is really irking. Because you can't get to the bottom of a situation or fix it if one of the two people or both people is shut off. It's just impossible. Overly sensitive. Some Aquarius are overly sensitive. I think some of all people actually are overly sensitive. If you've been online, you know, you've peeped that on Facebook, I'm sure. But yeah, some Aquarius have this overly sensitive thing going on. I saw this present in my father, another Aquarius, and he was overly sensitive about dumb stuff. You know, his feelings were easily hurt. And I don't know if that was because of trauma, because he often told me that he felt like his family wasn't good to him. And I don't know if that's true or not, because I never really was around to see this, but he always felt like his family, not all of them, of course, but certain people he felt like were not good to him, basically. And he was overly sensitive, in my opinion, to everybody because of that. It felt like he expected people to betray him all the time. And Aquarius, we don't trust easily, so that overly sensitive nature made him act really strange, very distant energy because of his overly sensitive nature. He was always anticipating an attack. So everything you said to him, he took as an attack, even if it wasn't meant like that. Distant. The distance part I just got finished talking about. So some Aquarius are very distant. I know Aquarius. This is funny. It's funny, but it's not. I know Aquarius that lives in the house with his family. His mother, his sister, a brother, and an uncle all live in the same house. The Aquarius is so distant that he ghosts the people in his own home. How do you ghost the people that you live with? Only an Aquarius can pull that off, man. And I'm just like, what? He's so distant that they don't see him for weeks at a time. He's so elusive. The times when he comes in and goes out, he makes sure that they are not around. He has a lock on his door, you know? And I was just like, wow, that's really distant, that you're so distant that you're detached from your family members. It cracks me up. And he always talks about it, but basically he doesn't really care for them. That's the bottom line. When an Aquarius does that, it's because they really don't like you. And he is so distant. And I'm like, you in the room next door to your mother and still manage to ghost your mother. I don't even get how he does it. It's crazy. It made me laugh, but I'm sure his mother isn't laughing. Crass. Some low vibrational Aquarius can be very crass, very nasty with their mouth, you know. And this was me. I would cuss you out when I was younger. I done cuss people out from here across the country, across the world probably. And it wasn't a good thing. Some Aquarius have a very crass, very nasty mouth. And I really do believe in treating people kindly at this point in my life. So I try to stay away from, you know, cussing people out, yelling at them, things like that. Because it really doesn't help, number one. And number two, I realized that it's all about energy. It's just getting out your own angry energy. So I realized that I can probably talk to them in a different kind of way and get the angry energy out in a more productive way later. So that's what I normally try to do with it. But when I was young, my tongue was out of control. So a lot of Aquarius have that issue, that nasty mouth, and then we smart and we're quick with it, so the nastiness can come real fast and we can tear somebody up with our tongue. And I really just don't like it, because I feel like, you know, I wouldn't want somebody to do that to me. And that's what made me actually start working on it, because I realized how I made people feel when I cussed them out. So that's what makes me work on it. I probably, if somebody really pissed me off, I probably would snap on them. But I'm at the point in my life where I'm always trying not to go there, you know? And I just see that it makes it easier to deal with situations. Situations get very fragmented when you talking nasty to people, especially when it's somebody you're supposed to be in a relationship with. I see a lot of Aquarius talk to their significant other in a way that I just think is fucked up. I would never stay with somebody who talked to me like that, calling them all kind of names, but they're just playing. It's like, crass, nasty mouth sometimes, and that is not cute at all. Number 9, know-it-alls. I think we're all a little know-it-all because I think that we're smart. You know, a lot of Aquarius are really, really smart. But the problem I have with an Aquarius is I'm cool that they're smart and they have great information and all of that. But I hate when they try to make me take their information, when they try to make me do what they want me to do. And Aquarius said to me one day, why can't you just do what I told you to do? I was like, motherfucker. I wanted to snap, but I didn't say nothing. I was just like, oh, okay. Well, I'm going to talk to you later. I got right off the phone because I was just like, And I don't have too many conversations with that person anymore either. But it was like, why do I have to do what you told me to do like I'm a 3-year-old child, you know? You can ask me, do I want assistance? Because I might need some assistance. But if I didn't ask for it and you're trying to impose your whatever on me, that's not going to go over well. So we get a lot of that know-it-all energy. And like I said, you know, it's only when they try to impose it on me that it becomes a problem, because I have my own thoughts and I like to use them if that's okay with you. And the last one is unpredictable. I am a creature of habit. Every once in a while, I step out and get crazy. I go rogue every once in a while. But for the most part, I'm a creature of habit. I wasn't always. I used to be just as unpredictable as number 10. And I don't like it when dealing with another person. When dealing with myself, I don't mind, you know, the out of nowhere flashes from Uranus to go do something strange. I'm cool with that. But when I'm dealing with another person and they're extremely unpredictable, it's difficult for me because I'm such a creature of habit at this point in my life. So I do deal with people who are unpredictable, but I don't always respect it. Sometimes it annoys me. And I get this energy a lot from Aquarius because it'll be like, I never know what to expect from certain ones. Certain Aquarius, yeah, I do. You know, we got a pretty good vibe. I know what to expect. But other ones, I never know what to expect. I never know if I can count on them. To be quite frank about it, I don't know if I can depend on them because I don't know where you're going to be. And that for me is a problem. I need to be able to depend on my support system. So if somebody wants to be my friend or in my support system, I need to be able to count on you because I'm not a needy person. So if I do need something, if something goes wrong, I need to know that I can come to you and you got my back. But if you wishy-washy, I don't know when, if, how you have my back. And that's a problem. That's a big problem for me. So those are the things that irk me about my favorite sign. But the things that irk me about Aquarius are nowhere near as monumental of a list as some other signs. So that's why Aquarius is my favorite sign. So now we're going to read some positive comments. The first one came from Brittany. Brittany says, the Light Seers Tarot is one of my top 3 favorite decks. It's my go-to because it resonates so well. I have the Work Your Like Oracle too, and I love the imagery and feeling I get from it. Those are two of the 4 decks that Luz Lopez, hey Luz, gifted me for Christmas. So the Work Your Light deck and the Light Seers Tarot are both pretty modern and very well loved, very well received. You see them all over Instagram. So yeah, I was so pleased to get those. I was so happy. Gigi6011. All right, hi Gigi. Gigi said, we're definitely slow to approach. Laugh out loud. Because we don't have time for cleaning up the scene if you get attached, oh boy, which they always do, after one conversation with us. People literally love it here. Meanwhile, we got them at arm's length. She's talking about Aquarius, of course. And the other day we were talking about how we have to approach things slowly because, and she's saying this because people get attached, and they do. They do. And I don't mind a person getting attached when I want them to be attached. I'm cool with that. It's like, okay, well, an attachment is cool, but I need to be cool with that. Like she's saying here, I don't want somebody to attach and I'm like, whoa, wait, whoa. Hold up, you know? I want them to attach when I'm ready and I'm with it. You know, if I don't want to be attached to them, then that becomes a problem because then they're tripping. And if it's at my job, like this situation here was at work. So if it's at work and I don't want to be attached and now you tripping, now we at my place of employment. Oh, God. Not good. Not good at all. All right, guys, you come back soon because I got a lot more to say. See you later.